Hi, welcome to another Thoughts on Leadership. This month I thought of another conference, and it's probably a bit of a funny title, but you know something? I'm going to be a bit of a hobby horse of mine this month, if you don't mind, because it's frustrating me more and more and more, and in a recession I see it as a massive money waster and it's frustrating me. So I'm going to share with you my frustrations and thoughts and then give you some things to think about. Let me ask you a question to start with. Would you put a team together and ask them to achieve something collectively without telling them what it is? In other words, just give them tasks to do and not tell them what they're each trying to achieve and expect them to form as a team? I mean, you just wouldn't do it, would you? And yet I'm finding in businesses, people are going around having meetings, putting on conferences, doing things that cost a lot of money, I might tell you, without any cohesion, without any common understanding about what are we trying to do here, it's like designing a car and the design department are developing the car over here. Meanwhile, the testing department is planning to test something that's completely different to it. Or maybe it's like a hotel. There's a conference going on in the hotel, but the bedrooms don't know about the conference at the hotel and what people are staying there, and the kitchens haven't been advised of what meals these people want. I mean, it's going to be a disaster, and it's obvious. This whole business of meetings and conferences, and we've seen it in the press recently because of the whole stuff in the US about companies putting on conferences that have had bailouts, and it's a huge waste of money and all the rest of it. And it is, unless there is some sort of cohesion, unless there's some sort of focus, something that brings it together, that makes it a meaningful event or whatever. So here's my thoughts on this matter. I see people going, right, we're going to have the company conference. So what are we going to do? Well, you go and find us a venue. And you find some sort of entertainment stuff that can be done. And, can you organize the games for the evening? Or, yeah, get us a couple of speakers in, won't you? And then what happens is everybody goes off in different directions. And then they start coming back. Now, at this stage, the chief executive or somebody at a senior level starts taking an interest in the thing and goes, what the hell did you order that for? And why are we doing that? I don't want that. And, I've heard of this speaker I want. And no, get rid of that speaker. Let's bring this speaker in. I don't want that sort of food. And the whole thing, everybody gets messed around. Money is wasted. Time is wasted. Simply because nobody sat down at the beginning and said, what's the conference objective for this year? Not the theme, that's a completely different thing. Okay, you've got somebody separately over here who's working on a theme. No. This is what are we trying to achieve? What do we want people to do as a result of our conference this year? What is the outcomes from our conference? How is this conference going to contribute to the business objectives? And I'm using a conference, but I could equally say about just even team meetings or various meetings, even board meetings for that matter, I'm sorry to say. So, it winds me up because all of this running in different directions, it just creates havoc. It's like, you can see what's going to happen. You're going to end up with a bar mitzvah where pork is the main meal and you've got Snoopy Dogg talking about fatherhood or something stupid. Okay, I'm exaggerating, but you got the idea of how it can go seriously wrong. So we need some changes. We need a rethink. And it's not difficult. It's not complicated, this stuff. This is the question that needs to be answered. What do we want people to do as a result of this meeting, this conference, this event? What do we want people to do? Okay, if we can define what we want people to do, then that creates the focus. It helps us really hone in on what's important about this. And then we can start doing the stuff around it. I mean, I'm working with conference people these days, and I work with all sorts. I work with speakers bureaus, and I work with conference organizers and event planners and all the rest of it. And I'm sorry to say I've come around a lot of protectionism. In other words, I'm picking the person who means that the client will book me and use me again next year, instead of I'm picking the person that's right for the company's conference. And we need to start to learn to work together. Less protectionism, less fighting and more coming together and working with it. The clients I'm working with these days, I'm saying to them, if you want me to come work at your conference, what do you want them to do as a result? Tell me what you want them to do as a result of my session. Allow me to talk to some of the delegates prior to the conference. I want to get a feel for your company. I want to get a feel for what you're about. I want to understand what your issues are in your business. Okay, because then I'm able to deliver at a higher level for you. And then I'm talking about doing added-on things for clients. No extra charge, just simple things that technology allow me to do. And if I can do simple things like that, imagine what if everybody came together and could think and work like that in that sort of manner anyway. Okay, so my bit of a rant this month is over. I'm just going to ask you some straight questions. As always, end it with some questions. These are your questions. Think about it. Do you have objectives or outcomes for your meetings? Before you hold a meeting, do you know exactly what you want as an outcome from this meeting? My favorite question is, what do you want people to do as a result of the meeting? Do people involved know what is expected, what the outcome of the meeting is, what they're prepared to be able to do as a result of the meeting or be able to do in the meeting? Do they know how to prepare? Do they know what is expected of them in terms of an input in the meeting? So that's my first group of questions. My second group of questions relates to everybody that has to put any planning into it. Are the people involved working in formation? Okay? In other words, are they flying in formation together? Are they a team that understand what's meant to happen as a result of this? Are there mixed signals because there's a lack of cohesion? Okay? There's a guy by the name of Martin Furness. He wrote a book, The Meeting Architecture, a Manifesto, and he describes it like this. He says, it's like an architect. An architect sits down with the clients and says, what are you wanting to build? And gets to know the client, gets to know the client's personality. And then designs something, and then works with the builder to create it, and then furnishes it, does everything, and finally produces it to the client and delivers something that the client needed and wanted. And a meeting architecture Furness is talking about is the same sort of thing. A guy who sits down with the client, goes, what are your objectives? Helps the client clarify their thinking, gets into the culture of the organization, and then goes away and designs it, puts something together from every angle that allows the delivery at the end, which is the experience that the chief executive or the head of the company had. Okay, so have you got that architectural type role within your business? The person who is drawing out the needs, understands the ultimate aim here, and then goes away and designs it, puts it together and delivers it back. Because that's the type of thing that your organization is needing at some level. It doesn't have to be very grand, but even for the average meetings, it has to be there for some level. So I hope those questions have got you thinking, and I hope it challenges you a bit to just ways to raise your performance. If nothing else, I hope it saves you money. Okay, maybe you'll end up doing less meetings. Have a great month. See you next month. Bye for now.